Hello guys, and welcome to another Premiere Pro tutorial. In this Adobe Premiere Pro tutorial, I'm going to show you how to edit videos using Adobe Premiere Pro. I will explain the basic tabs in Premiere Pro, the windows, the Premiere Pro tools, and I will edit and export a basic video in Premiere Pro. So the first thing you want to do is, of course, click on your Premiere Pro icon to launch it. It's just going to take a few minutes. And once that is done, you'll be greeted with a different window here. You'll be greeted with a welcome note over here. The reason why I have this is because I have some recent files that I have worked with. This is 3 minutes yesterday, 2 days back, and thereabout. So you're going to be greeted with a welcome note over here. And you're going to also have this open project tab and this new project tab. So basically, the open project tab is where you can locate previous projects you have worked on. And the new project tab is where you click to create a new project. Well, if you come over to your open project over here, you can search for any project you've worked on that you cannot find in the recent file location. For example, I scroll down, I think I have a file under masterclass here, and then I can select this masterclass over here, and it's going to automatically launch that masterclass project. But I'm not going to do this right now. What I'm going to do is to create a new project. So to do that, simply select new project over here. And the first thing you want to do is to give your project a name. I'm going to name this Adobe Premiere Pro Beginners Class or just Beginners Class. The next thing you need to do is to save the location. I'm going to select this drop down over here and select choose location and select where I want this project to be saved. I'm going to select this folder masterclass and hit select folder. Now, depending on your version of Premiere Pro, these tabs may be located somewhere else. I'm currently working on Premiere Pro 2022, but regardless, you're going to find these options to save the project name and the location. The next option is to select media to create your project with, but I'm going to leave that for now and just go ahead and hit create. Now, once you launch Premiere Pro for the first time, you'll be greeted with this Premiere Pro tutorial workspace. But I'm going to skip this and just move over to the normal editing workspace. So I'll go to Windows, Workspaces, and then I'll move down to editing by going to Window, Workspace, and Editing. So basically, when you open your windows in Premiere Pro, you'll be greeted with 4 tabs. We have the project tab over here. This is where you import your files you want to work with. We have the preview window over here. This is where you preview files in the project window. We have the program file over here, and we have the timeline. The timeline is where you edit your videos, and the program file is where you view those effects and those changes as they occur in the timeline. The first step might be to come over here and to select import depending on your version of Premiere Pro. I don't want to click this now. The next option will be to select file over here and scroll down and select import. And then you can select your video, your music, or your pictures over here and hit open to import. And that has been imported into Premiere Pro, but I'm going to delete that. Another way to import your file is to double click here on your project window over here, and you can select an icon and import. Another way will be to right click over here and select import. Another way is to use the keyboard shortcut Ctrl+I, and you can select an icon and import. Another way also will be to go to your window explorer over here and select an item and drag it into Premiere Pro and drop it. But let me go ahead and delete that once more. So basically, I have some files I would like to import for this beginners class. So I'm just going to hit Ctrl+I and locate them by scrolling down to where I have them saved. I have a folder here called masterclass. I have some videos here. I'm going to hit Ctrl+A to select all and hit open. And I also like to import some images, so I'll hit Ctrl+I and select the images. Hit Ctrl+A to select all and hit open to import them. I'll also like to import a music, so I'll hit Ctrl+I once more and locate where the audio is kept. Select it and hit open to import it. So basically now I have images, I have an audio file, and I have 3 video files. Next, let me show you what these icons in the project window stands for. So the first icon here is the list view. Now this enables us to view our footages in form of lists. The next is icon view. It enables us to see the thumbnails and to see our videos more clearer. So we can scroll down and see them better. The next option is the freeform view. We also have this slider over here that adjusts the size. So you can make them bolder and you can make them smaller. I'm just going to take this back to the middle. And I'm going to take this back to the icon view over here. We also have the search bar over here, which is also here. You can use this to search the name of a clip. For example, if I search Roman and hit enter, this icon over here, you can see that this video is now selected over here. The next we have here is a folder. New bin is used to create folders. We also have this new item icon over here. It's used to add icons, for example, new sequence, new adjustment layers, bars and tone. We are going to talk about this later. We have the delete icon over here. So if you want to delete something, all you need to do is to select that video and you can just hit delete. I'm going to hit Ctrl Z to bring that back. So let's talk about the tabs over here. So this is the project tab. This is where we can see all our videos, images and pictures that we're working with. We also have the media browser. You can import files from here. You just need to locate the file you are looking for, scroll down and select a file. We also have a library over here. When you have files in the Adobe Creative Cloud and you have internet, you want to access them from that library. We also have info. This gives you the information about a clip that is selected. So I'm selecting a file that is called production 1D 4729791, and if you come over here you will see. So basically it gives me all the information I need about it. The frame per second is 25 frames per second. The dimension is 1920 by 1080. That is high definition. And the duration of the clip is 9 minutes 23 seconds. The next tab here is markers. It helps us search for videos based on markers colors that we have set on them. We're going to talk about that later. And then we have history. So the history shows us the history of what we have done. We created a new project, we imported some clips, we deleted some clips, imported some more, deleted, imported, and a few other steps right there. I'm going to go back right now. So let's talk a little bit about the preview monitor. Go to in point here, which has the keyboard shortcut Shift plus I. If I hold down Shift and press I, you will notice that automatically the playhead has moved over to the start of my marker. And we also have this go to out point with the keyboard shortcut Shift plus O. If I hold down Shift and press O, you will notice that the playhead has moved to the last frame of my marked out clip. We can use this arrow to step back one frame. So as I move back, you can see it move back by one frame. We also have this to move front by one frame. We can also hit the play over here and hit the stop button over here. We use this camera icon to create snapshots. For example, if I want to capture a frame from a video and have it like a picture, I'll just select this icon and I'll give it a name. I might just call this picture 1 and select the format. I want it as JPEG, and you can select the location over here and you can check import into project, which means I want it inside Premiere Pro, and select OK. And the moment I do that, you can see that this is picture1.jpg. A picture has been created over here from that exact frame. So let's talk about the tabs over here. The source tab is where we preview our project. So this is source, and then we have production ID 472. That is the file name that we are looking at the moment, which is that image. Okay, so we can move to the next tab, which is effects control. This is where we apply effects to videos or images. We're going to go back to that. So we have the audio clip mixer. This is where we mix audios, and we have the metadata. So let's move back to the source monitor over here. So basically, if I select a video here, lest I forget that we also have this select zoom level, and what this does is that it helps us to zoom in or zoom out into our clips over here. So for example, if I select 25, you can see what we have. If I select 150, it really zooms in, but if I go down to 25, we are seeing the full frame. But if I go down to fit, it fits more on the screen. We also have the settings icon here, which is used to apply some settings to the source monitor over here. We're not going to deal on that right now. And we also have the plus sign over here, which is used to add some other of these editor buttons onto this menu over here. So all you need to do if you want to add anyone is to select it and drag it to this position over here, and once you do, you can hit OK and you have successfully added a new button. But if you are looking for any of the tabs and you can't see them, all you need to do is to select these double arrows over here and you'll be able to find and locate any of the tabs you are looking for. The next thing I would like to show you is how to sort and arrange your clip properly. It's important that you sort your video clips to a particular bin, your audio clip to a particular bin, and your images to a particular bin. So I'm going to create 3 new folders called bins, and then I'm going to rename them to fit the kind of footages that I have. So to do that, all you need to do is to select this folder called new bin and give this a name, videos, deselect it, create a new one. I'm going to call this images, deselect it, and create a new one. I'm going to call this audio and deselect it. Now I'm going to come over to my list view here so I can see everything properly. So you can see that these 3 are videos from the icons that they bear. I'm going to select one, hold down shift and the down arrow to select all the 3 and drag them into this video folder over here. Now if I drop down this video folder, you can see the videos are inside this video folder. But if I close down this video folder, you can't see them anymore. I'm going to repeat the same process for all my images. So to view a particular tab boldly, you can double tap on it and you can see it boldly. So I'm going to select the first image here, select it, scroll down and select all my images and drag them into the image folder over here. Oh, I see that I do not have an audio at this point. So what I'm going to do is to double click on this audio and the audio folder has opened. At this point, I can hit Ctrl I and select this audio over here and hit open, and automatically it's added to this audio folder. To go back, simply select this icon and then you can see that we have only 3 bins now. The video folder, select this arrow to see the videos, close it, select this arrow to see the images, close it, select this arrow to see the audios. And that's it guys on how to arrange and sort items in Premiere Pro. So I'm going to double click now to go back to the normal window. So now let's move down to the timeline over here. Like I said, the timeline is where we cut, add effects, and basically where the main editing takes place. Now there are a couple of ways to drag in footage into the timeline to create a sequence. But first, it's important that we note that we should not at any circumstance import first an audio onto our timeline. We can begin by importing a video or an image because an audio will make the sequence choppy and glitchy. Secondly, it's important that we note that the first clip we import over here will automatically create our sequence, which means if you import a landscape video over here, for example, if I select this video and import it over here, Premiere Pro is going to automatically assume that we are trying to create landscape videos all through, and every other video we bring in is going to take in this format and this dimension. Let me hit Ctrl Z to delete that. But if I should bring in a change sequence settings. But if I should bring in a vertical video, Premiere Pro is going to assume, let me mute this. Premiere Pro is going to assume that I'm trying to work with a vertical video format, maybe for YouTube Shorts or TikTok. The problem with that is that if I should later bring in a normal landscape video, it's not going to fit in. So I'm going to have to select that and move to Effects Control and scale that in to match the frame that I'm working with. So it's very important that we note that the frame of our first video affects the frame of the entire video. So I'm going to delete this and delete this sequence that is created here by hitting this X icon. And I'm going to drag in this video here to create a new sequence. So now we have a sequence. So I'm going to select my source monitor over here. Now you'll notice that the program monitor over here has popped open and we can preview everything here on this screen. So the program monitor is connected to this timeline over here. Another thing you'll notice is that we have different tracks over here. We have V1, V2, V3, which are video track 1, video track 2, video track 3. We also have audio track 1, audio track 2, and audio track 3. Please notice that you can select a file here and drag it here automatically to your timeline, but you cannot drag a video file onto an audio track. It's not going to work. In the same vein, you cannot drag an audio file onto a video track. So if you want to drag only a video file, you select drag video only and you drag it. Let me take that back. But if you want to drag only audio, you select this audio icon over here, drag audio only, and then you drag it onto this layer over here, audio 1, audio 2, audio 3. So let me add some audios over here. So I'll close this bin and move to my audio bin and select my audio and drag it here. Now I'm going to mute this because this audio is actually a music for a client and I would not like to play that out. What this M icon means is mute. So if I mute it and hit play, you cannot hear any sound. I'm going to duplicate this by holding Alt and dragging it down to increase the tracks. Now if I select this single track means that only this track will play while the other tracks will be mute. These microphone icons indicate record a voiceover. So if you have, for example, a video that is playing on your timeline and you want to record a voiceover, you can just simply select the voiceover record over here and wait for the countdown to stop. And you'll notice that it was recording. I had to stop that. And if I scroll in now, you can see that it had automatically recorded an audio over here. I'm going to select this and delete that. We also have these padlocks that are used to lock tracks. So I can lock all of this in case if you want to leave your laptop and you do not want anyone to make changes on your project. So I'm going to deselect that. The settings icons are used to make changes to our timeline over here. The marker icons are used to add a marker. So you can notice that a marker has been added to this specific position. I'm going to deselect that. We also have this very important icon here, which is the snap icon. It's used to snap files together so that one is not overwritten. For example, if I select this video and drag it to my timeline over here, you'll notice that it snaps and there's a line here. But if I deselect this snap icon and try to move this here, you'll notice there's no snap and it's easy for me to mistakenly delete some frames over there. So it's important that you always have this snap icon on. I'm going to select this and delete this. So over here we have our horizontal and vertical slides that are used to slide and reveal the timeline. Lastly, I'm going to talk about the toolbars over here and then we're going to edit a basic video. So the first tool we have here is the selection tool. It's used to select an icon, to move an icon, or to change the location of an icon. We also have the track select forward tool over here. The keyboard shortcut is A. What this is used for is to select all tracks on the timeline and move them forward. So for example, if I select this clip and duplicate it a couple of times, I can select this track select forward tool, and from this position, if I double click it, I can move every clip here to the front. Hit Ctrl Z. Now if I select this and hold down, we also have the option of track select backward tool, Shift plus A. Now what this does is that it selects all tracks from a particular position backward. So for example, let's assume I have this clip in another position, but I want to select all the clips from this position backward. So all I need to do is to select this track select backward tool or Shift plus A. And now I can move all the clips backward. Also, we have the ripple edit tool. It's used to adjust the cut position between two clips without changing the combined duration of the two clips. So for example now, let me go ahead and delete this and select all these clips and hit delete on my keyboard to delete them. Now if I select the ripple edit tool, I can adjust the cut position between these two clips without changing the combined duration between these two clips. The difference between that and the normal trimming of the clip is that if I select my selection tool and trim this clip, there is space in between. But with the ripple edit, there is no space in between. The rate stretch tool is used to adjust the duration and the speed of a clip. So if I adjust this clip now and I hit play, you'll see it play faster. But if I increase the length and hit play, you'll see it go slower. The remix tool is used to remix an audio. For example, if I go over to my audio over here and select this audio and import it into this clip, Once again, I'm going to mute this because it's a client's job. I can basically reduce the length of this clip to match the length of this video. And automatically, Premiere Pro is going to analyze it, as you can see over here, and adjust the length of this clip using artificial intelligence to the point where we cannot tell the start or the cut points in this audio clip, and it's going to match exactly the duration of this clip. The next tool over here, while that is going on, is the razor tool. It's used to make cuts in our clips. So we can make cuts, and if I hit the selection tool, I can move one of this clip away from that position. So I'll hit Ctrl Z. We also have the slip tool. It's used to change the start and end position of a clip. Okay, so this seems done. As you can see, it has actually tried to adjust the length of this clip. I wish I could play this. I do not want to play a client's song, but you can actually try it from your end. So the slip tool next, what it does is it helps us to adjust the position of a clip. So basically, if I move this, you will notice there's a change here. Just notice over here. Her leg is now inside the pole, but nothing looks to be changed on my timeline over here. But if I move it once more, you can see her leg is completely out of the pole. So it actually adjusts the points of the clip without adjusting the position of this clip. Next, we have our pen tool over here. We use this to draw shapes on our preview window. So once I tap this and I tap this, you can see that I'm drawing a shape. I'm going to hit Ctrl Z to delete that. We also have the rectangle tool that we can use to draw a rectangle. I'm going to delete that. If I hold down the rectangle tool, we also find the ellipse tool and a polygon tool, which I use to draw an ellipse and a polygon. I'm going to delete that once more. We have the hand tool over here, which can be used to move things. For example, if I set in points here and out points here, I can drag this with the hand tool. Next, we have the type tool over here. So if you select the type tool and come over to your preview window, you can type a text. For example, I can type subscribe, and I can hold down my selection tool over here and increase the size of this text over here. You can also select this type tool over here and select the vertical type tool and come over here and type subscribe once more, and it's going to type vertically. So I'm going to select this and delete this once more. Lastly, I'm going to attempt to edit a basic video. To do this, I'm going to close this audio folder and import my 3 videos over here onto Premiere Pro. So basically, we have 3 videos here. So the next thing I want to do is to just add some graphics to it. Okay, I can make some cuts. So I'll just make some basic cuts here. And I'm going to select these first 3, probably, move them to this position, and select these last 2, and move them to this position. We're just making a basic edit today, and select this and delete it. Now the last thing I want to do is to add some graphics. So you can add some text, but I'm just going to come over to window over here and move down to essential graphics to find some graphics, and I'm going to open this tab to expand it to see some graphics template that Premiere Pro has created for us. We have some basic ones and we have some custom that I've brought in. So I'm just going to select this and just drag it onto my timeline, and select this and drop it onto my timeline. Now, because we have this red line over here, before we preview, it's important that we hit enter on our keyboard to render this so that the playback can be really smooth. The moment this is done, you can see what we have created over here. So basically, I added a graphics template, and we have our videos over here, and we have some more graphics over here. Now, let's say you have combined all your videos together and you want to export your video. All you need to do is to set in and out points. So I'm going to come over to this position over here and hit O, and come over to the start point and make sure that at the beginning you hit I. Now move over to export over here to export your video, and select a file name. Because this is just a test project, I'm going to save this as test. Select a location on your PC I'm going to select my desktop, not my desktop, no, my downloads, and hit select. Now we need to select a preset. Save yours as high quality 1080p. Now come over to video, and you'll notice that the file size is 61 MB. You can always reduce the file size, so scroll down to more and scroll down and set your bitrate settings to VBR1 pass, and you can reduce the target bitrate from 20 to 8, and you will notice that this will drop down the file size, but the quality is still okay. So this is 25 MB. Ensure that your range here is on source in and out and is not on the entire source, and hit export. And Premiere Pro will automatically export your project into the location that you have saved it in your PC. And that's it guys on this Adobe Premiere Pro beginners tutorial. I hope you enjoyed this tutorial, and I'll see you in the next video.